let's try 126. This one here, DIL proxy. This is the one that is so much better. This is the one where we're going to make a smarter attack than what Metasploit makes. We're going to make, I assume Windows Defender already has an exclusion on this machine. I've already said, okay, we're going to make a working directory. All right, and we're going to put BG64 in it. So let me do this stuff. On this machine, it's not IE user. Oh, this is still freezing from the previous attack. Let's just clear it. Exit. All right, let's go here and exit. All right, and clear the screen. All right, we're back to a clean command prompt here to do these things. All right, now on this machine, my name is student. On the machine, my Windows 10 machine, it's IE user. So I'm going to make a folder, make your desktop, and call it DIL proxy. All right, now I'm going to go into there. All right, and there should be nothing in here. I just made it. Okay, there's nothing in there. Now I'm going to copy C tools. Let me get this so it's showing on the screen correctly. Okay, C:tools. See, I put all the sysinternals tools and many other things in here. This is a sysinternals tool, which is now a Microsoft product, BG info. And let's get rid of this garbage. Okay, BG info. There, BG info 64.exe to here. BG info is a tool that just puts on the background information like your IP address and your MAC address and what kind of processor you have and stuff like that. No big deal, but the point is it has a vulnerability which we're going to exploit. Another Microsoft product with a similar vulnerability to the one we saw before. All right, so now we're going to view the DILs in Process Monitor for BG info. So let me get Process Monitor going again, which is really fantastic tool. Very good to learn about. Right, and Microsoft, I think it's still not going to find it. Procmon 64, nope, not going to find it. All right, so I got to do it this way. C tools. It's in here. Procmon 64, okay. All right, and now I know I want to see things named Process Monitor. So I wonder if I double click this. Yeah, I can change this. I want to see things named BG info and nothing else. All right, and now I'm going to go to my instructions. I think I just run, I run BG info in an administrator command prompt. Let's get an administrator command prompt. Okay, and go to where it is, which is users, student, desktop, DIL, okay, BG info, there. Okay, I'm running it. I'll agree to this, it'll do something. Okay, and I think I can cancel it at this point. I don't really care about making it do anything. I just care about catching what it did trying to load it. So let me get to here and stop sniffing. Okay, and now I'm seeing it load DILs, and here it is, again, looking for this PF thing it didn't find. And let's find out what we're looking for here. Okay, it looked for version.dil in the working folder first. Okay, so let's look at version.dil, see if I can find it by just scrolling through. I can use search if I have. There it is, version.dil, success. That's disturbing. All right, let me search for version.dil. Control F. All right. There it is. So here it is. It did look in my local folder, C user student desktop DIL proxy for version.dil, and not found. And only after that did it go to C Windows System 32. This makes it possible to perform what's called a companion Trojan attack. It looks for a DIL in the wrong place. This used to be all over Windows. The main process that draws the desktop on Windows NT was this way. What happens is the developer wrote just the name of it. They launched explorer.exe without giving the full path. And when you launch something without the full path, Microsoft hunts for that file, and they hunt first in your current working folder, and then they go through a series of other folders trying to find things. So this means without having administrator rights, I can put a malicious DIL in the current working directory, which is like the downloads directory where it can get you easily, trick people into putting junk in there, and then it'll run it thinking it's a system version.dil. So this is a more powerful attack than the previous one. However, version.dil, this program will not run without version.dil. So I can't just put a Metasploit generated piece of junk there that doesn't have any actual functionality. I'm going to have to make a program that simulates the real version.dil. So I'm not going to bother doing this. We did it before. We try exactly the same thing we did before. If you make a malicious file with Metasploit and try running it, then when you restart it, it will be looking for version.dil, and it will crash with an error message. The application is unable to start because it really needs that library. If it can't load that library and find the functions in it, then it won't run. So that attack won't work. So we have to do a smarter one. We're going to build a DIL proxy. So we need DIL export viewer, which I imagine is already installed on this machine. Let's see. DIL export, there it is. All right. This is just a handy tool to find all the functions exported from a DIL. There's a bunch of ways to do it. You could do it with CFF Explorer and so on, but we're going to load it from this thing, C Windows System 32 version.dil. So copy, load functions from the DIL, load functions from the following DIL. All right, and Control V should put it there. There, C Windows System 32 version.dil. Okay, let's see. I don't think I have to make any other adjustments here. Click OK, and I get the functions. Okay, that's all we're going to do is use the simplest functionality of this program. Okay, there they are. These are all the functions provided by version.dil. Now I think I just copy them and put them in Notepad. Let's see. View HTML report all functions. You get a report. Okay, so view HTML report all functions. All right, and that's a good question. I guess I'll open it in Firefox. I'm not really sure. See if I said my instructions what to do. I hear, whoop, that's Firefox already. All right, so, all right. A browser tab opens, okay. Now, make directory, copy ctools report.html. Oh, okay, I guess it put it, oh, I see. If you look here, this is a local file, ctools report.html. That's where I put it. Okay, so it's an HTML file in that location. So I can just move it from my command prompt here. All right, good. And so I want to do that. Okay, so all right, I'm going to make a directory, C:\\DIL proxy, and go in there. All right, and then I'm going to copy C tools report, all right, to here. All right. All right, so I've got the report.html there. Now I just need to parse it, and I'm going to use this Python code to parse it. I just need to, it's in the wrong format. So this is just going to readjust the format of it. And that's going to be parser.py. So I go here and Notepad, parser.py. Notepad, parser.py. Can't see what I'm doing. It's too dark to see the keyboard here. All right, create a new file. Go away with your stupid garbage. And there it is. Okay, now I save this. Everybody has to be popping up garbage telling me about new features I don't care about all the time. Anyway, so, all right, now I'm going to run it. This is the program that will do it, CPython 2.7, which is included with a debugger we've installed. All right, Python, parser. All right, the input is report, and the output is going to be pragma.text. There, notepad pragma. All right, oh, still can't miss an A. Somehow in the dark I keep hitting the wrong key. All right, okay, this is the C++ commands that will export something with this name as a function, and when it tries to run it, it will go to the real original, something called version orig. So this is what the proxy does. Now we just have to build the rest of the file. So, notepad dil main. All right, we're going to make a new file and put in this code. Okay, let me get this. This can be dilmain.cpp. All right, there it is. dilmain.cpp. All right. I want to create a new file. Paste in the stuff. Okay. Now I'm going to save it. Now I think I'm going to bring in the stuff from the other file, but let me just check my instructions. Right. Yep, copy all the pragma and put it there. So let me do that. That's going to be the other notepad file. Okay, Control A, Control C. Now back to the other notepad and paste it in here with Control V. There we are. Now I've got my malware. Well, now I have the source code for my malware. Now I need to compile it with Visual Studio. So here's how it works. There's a routine called exploit that is going to run something called payload.bat as a batch file. And dilmain is the thing that is run as soon as you load a dil to prepare it for use. And in the dilmain, it does all the usual stuff it should do, and it also adds exploit here. So this is going to really run. It's going to really connect to a copy of the real version.dil, so all the exported functions will actually work, but it's also going to do an extra thing when it first loads, which will be whatever I put in this payload.bat file. So that's how the malware works. Now we're going to create the payload.bat file, which is just going to tag this box. This is a typical thing script kiddies do just to prove they own the box. So we do notepad. Payload.bat. All right. Put in that. All right, and save that. All right. So we're going to build it in Visual Studio 2019. So I start that here, Visual Studio. There it is. It's the same in 2022. All right. And Visual Studio is very powerful. It's what real developers use. It is also extremely confusing. There are many, many pages of properties, and it's very unclear. Not now, maybe later for this login garbage. And default environment and colors and junk. I don't care about that. So you have to be very careful in using Visual Studio to make all the little adjustments. There's a whole bunch of little adjustments, and if you get anything wrong, it won't work. So I'll show you. All right, that's getting ready. Let me go back to my instructions. All right, so we're going to do, the first bit is to create a project, and we have to tell it C++ Windows library up here. So let's see whenever this thing gets ready at the blazing speed of Microsoft. This is good. I might be able, we'll see if I can get the ARM version working. I had trouble with the ARM version, but I didn't turn off the real-time protection. That might have been what got me. Okay, so now we're going to get started by creating a new project. And we want to make C++ for Windows. And we want to make a library. There. And there it is, a DIL library. So you select that one, and next. and we want to call this thing version. I'm pretty sure. Let me go to my instructions and check. Yep, give it a name of version. And, okay. Wait. Version, okay. I'm just going to call it domain. That's right. I understand this now. Okay, so the name of this thing is version.dil, version. Then create. Now it's going to create a library, and every library has to have a DIL main. Remember, a normal program, an executable, has a main. DILs all have DIL main. In both cases, that's where it starts when you launch it. So it's going to create, there we are, it creates a DIL main with some default code in here. And all I have to do is take my Notepad code and paste it in there instead. And there's some kind of update. I don't care about this garbage. Okay. All right. So now take all the code that you put that pragma stuff in and put it in there, and then we got to make some careful adjustments. So here in Notepad, I go here, Control A, Control C, then I go back to here, Control A, delete, Control V. All right, now I've created my malware here. Now I have to adjust it in several ways, and I have to get it exactly right or it won't work. The first thing is at the top, collusion properties. Well, actually before that, I got to do this, release x64 at the top here. One common mistake is to miss this. Its debug is the default. And you got to do release, and I want 64-bit code, not 32-bit code. So that's the first thing, okay? Now I got to do more. I got to right-click here and go to properties, which will be at the bottom. And in here, there's several settings I have to change. Okay. It is C++ code generation. First, all configurations and all platforms. Okay, let me do that. All configurations and all platforms. Okay, then C++ code generation. Multi-threaded, apply. Code generation, runtime library, multi-threaded. I don't really understand what I'm doing here. I just followed some tutorials. Multi-threaded and apply. And now there's something else we have to change, which is precompiled headers, not using them, whatever they are. Precompiled headers, I don't know what they are, but whatever they are, we don't want them. We are not using them. Okay. And now I think it's okay. I think we're done with that. Yep. Now we build it, and it will succeed if we have not forgotten anything. You right-click the version here, and you build. And a little window will appear showing the progress of the build, and it will either succeed or fail. Looks pretty good. Creating the library, generating code, functions were compiled. Build 1 succeeded, 0 failed. It worked. And here's where it is. It puts it in a horrible place where you're going to have trouble finding it. That's why you have to note this ridiculous location. See user, student, source, repos, version x64 release. That's where the version.dil is. So, now that you've got it, we're going to copy it to the working folder. So we're going to delete the existing version.dil and copy the real version.dil, the version of Ridge, and then we're going to copy this ridiculous thing into there. So I'm going to save myself a little suffering. I'm going to copy this path here. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to do that stuff in my command line, following my instructions here. Okay, and I have to do a few adjustments because my name is student, not IE user. All right, so let's go on administrator command prompt. I'm just looking at, I think it'd be easier to move there. I'm going to move to, up CD I want, users, students, desktop, DIL, proxy. Okay, that's where I want to work. Okay, now, if I do a dir, there's version, no, thought I had a version.dil in here, but I guess I've already gotten rid of it. C user, student, desktop, DIL proxy. Some kind of stupid advertising is popping up on my Windows machine. No way to get rid of it. Okay. You see what I did wrong? C user student, desktop DIL proxy. All right, I thought there was a version.dil here, but maybe I moved it or deleted it before. All right. Now I want to copy the real version.dil to here. So I copy C, Windows, System, 32, DIL version.dil to version orig here. That's the name I'm going to use for the original one, orig.dil. All right. All right. Now I'm going to copy the thing I just made in Visual Studio. Good. There's the path to that. To here, I think. Yep. Alt-Tab. There we are. Just dot should do it. There. Now if I do directory, I have version.dil here. This big thing is my proxy. This is the real DIL where it's going to proxy all the calls to. Now the only thing missing is creating my, my payload. And somehow my payload is not in this directory, it's somewhere else, so I'm going to move it here. I'm going to copy. I got confused somehow and I put my payload here. I need that in the same directory there. Now I've got all the pieces I need. This is my malicious DIL, this is the original DIL, and this is the payload. And what the payload's going to do, if I type it, it's going to put one on the desktop in a file called pwn.txt. So a file will just appear on the desktop. So I'm ready. I'm going to get rid of Visual Studio here and get rid of all these notepad windows. See if I can make the desktop visible so we can see if it works. There we are. I'm getting part of the desktop visible. Now all I have to do is restart process monitor. Yep, that should do it. So when I run bg64.exe from this folder, it should take a file on the desktop. So I'm just going to clear everything off, and I'm not going to bother with process monitor. There. So let's get this out of here. Okay. There, now we can see the desktop. This, by the way, is what bginfo does. It puts that junk on the desktop. So now I'm going to, I do have bginfo. When I run bginfo here, it should have put pwned on the desktop. And it looks like it didn't. I think I know why. I think my payload is wrong. If I notepad, I think I forgot to change the name. Yep, this should be student. There. On this machine, it's not got the name IUser, it's got the name student, so it couldn't find that file to create it. So now if I run bginfo again, there it goes, I'm owned. It did the extra thing. So that's what I wanted to show you, and it worked. And I imagine this one's fine. I think real-time protection is turned on because I restarted the machine, and if I do virus and threat protection, for CNET 124, it was necessary to turn virus and threat protection off, probably because it recognized Metasploit malware. This malware it didn't recognize, and I'm beginning to understand. Yep, real-time protection is on, and it was harmless for CNET 126 because we made custom malware that it hadn't seen before. When you're using Metasploit malware, of course, it will recognize it. All right, so that's good. That worked. Let me stop this recording. I can figure out how to get to the OBS. There we are. All right, and let's go check.